All right, so we have this document, right? And that's great. It's all written in this. What we want to do is actually preview it. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. You can hit Control S or Command S or just do File, Save, and that will save it. All right. So once you've saved it, I'm just going to go ahead and minimize it by clicking Minimize, and then I'm going to go to the folder that I have it saved in. So I'm just going to double click on this folder, and then you're going to see right here, right? So there's the file that I'm working on, index.html. And the folder's here. All you got to do is literally just double click on it. And if I double click on it, it's going to open up in a different window. But I will see, if I drag this over here, you will then see the code that, or the web browser, or the stuff that we've been writing. Okay? And it should look okay here. If for some reason yours looks wrong, or it's weird, or you see bits of code or something in it, or there's just huge chunks missing, just go back to the code and see if you see any errors in it. Okay, that's the main thing. So look at my code, look at your code, and see if you can see anything that's different from the other. It also might give you some clues in Visual Studio Code. One of the things that's good and bad about Microsoft Visual Studio Code, or I'm sorry, not that program, but the with HTML, is that it's good because if you have a mistake, it will still work. But it's also bad because it'll still work. If you've ever done any other kind of coding, you'll know that normally if you make a mistake, the whole thing is messed up. So you can see, right, I wrote he was Bohm. Should have been born. Boern. Oh, I think I put an E. Okay, I see what I did. But unfortunately, because it doesn't crash, it's harder to actually find where the errors are. So just be aware. It also might be look a little bit different depending on the browser, because you got to remember the browser is what's reading your document. It's interpreting what you wrote as code and then putting its defaults in there, which we'll talk about that more later. But that's what you should have. It should look something like this. And if you get really stuck, just let me know, and you can send me an email. Just send me the file, and you'll be good to go. One other thing you might want to know is this. I'm just going to close this out. Let's say I want to open this back up. Obviously, if I double click on it, it's always going to try and open it up in the browser. If you want to open it up in Visual Studio Code, you could open up Visual Studio Code and then just go File, Open, and find it. Or you could right click over top of it and just go to Open With and then find the program here. Okay, so that's another way. If you're trying to get back into the code and not just preview it, I mean, obviously, I only minimized this, so you should just minimize it and then you can preview it. Okay. Other than that, you should be good to go. And let's do the next slide. What we're going to do is we're just going to add a little bit of formatting and a little bit of pizzazz as much as we can with the little tools we have.